frame that stands the test of time. With modular pieces, you can rearrange anytime. It's a sofa that adapts to your life. Now through Labor Day, get up to 60% off site-wide at washablesofas.com. Every order comes with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping, no restocking fees, every penny back. Shop now at washablesofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
Lowe's knows that no matter your paint project, saving is at the top of your list. That's why when you shop today, you can buy one, get one free. Select Valspar and HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams. One coat coverage interior paints via rebate. Shop these deals in-store or online today at Lowe's. We help, you save. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at the time of purchase. See sales associate for details. Offer valid 8/21 through 9/3.
As a parent, you wear many hats. At dinner, you're the chef. When your kids play, you're the ref. And let's face it, you're basically a full-time chauffeur. Fortunately, when it's time to wear your teacher hat, Abeka makes things easy. Our proven, flexible homeschool curriculum is designed to let your kids retain and build on the knowledge they acquire, setting them up for success later in life. Abeka. Learning for life begins with the right homeschool education. Learn more at abekahomeschool.com.
Welcome to the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network. Now get ready for Strange Things with Joshua P. Warren.
Welcome to our podcast. Please be aware the thoughts and opinions expressed by the host are their thoughts and opinions only and do not reflect those of iHeartMedia, iHeartRadio, Coast to Coast AM, employees of Premier Networks, or their sponsors and associates. We would like to encourage you to do your own research and discover the subject matter for yourself.
Worked for me. I'm on the radio. Sometimes people say, no, you're not really on the radio. You're a podcaster. It's all the same. It's all the same. Of course, I do work for iHeartRadio, but radio, TV, it's all electromagnetic transmissions. And I am joking. No, I have not engaged in human sacrifice. Sometimes I'll tell a joke and then I have to get sort of explicit and say that was a joke or I don't know, people read so many weird things. I got on Facebook the other day and I said, guess what I'm holding in my left hand right now? Guess what I'm holding in my left hand right now? And I really wanted to see if people could guess what it was. But you know what happened. Everybody went straight for the dirty stuff. Not dirty, but you know, no, it wasn't that. But I am going to tell you on this show what I had in my left hand. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to have it in my left hand again here in a minute. But getting back to the topic, you know, human sacrifice. Life is tough. And people are always trying to look for ways to make it better, even if that may involve human sacrifice. And sometimes when I bring up a concept like, oh, life is tough, then there are people who say, oh, well, that's negative. I thought you talk about positive stuff, Josh. Look, there are parts of life that are positive, but ultimately, I mean, life is negative because we all have to die. Have you ever seen that movie, The Princess Bride? Great movie. Gary Elwes's character, I guess his name was Wesley, he says, life is pain. Anyone who says differently is selling something. You know, Gary Elwes related to John Elwes, the inspiration for the real Ebenezer Scrooge. So yes, life is tough. If you want to understand more about that, just go listen to episode 224 of the show called Strange Things. And that episode is titled, Is This a Rung of Hell? And again, I say that because, life isn't always tough, but ultimately it is. If you're a pet owner, you know what I mean. There's a good chance that you're going to have to bury the pet, or I don't want to get that deep into it, but life is tough. I was recently meeting with a buddy of mine from Chicago, Ben Pavlon. As a matter of fact, I did a little interview with him, and I'm going to try to play some of that for you. Probably not on this show. I haven't had time to sit down and edit it. I'm still trying to get caught up from having my surgery and all that stuff. But I was sitting there and I was talking to Ben, and I said, I think that maybe there are only two options in terms of how you view life. Option number one, well, this experience is just some kind of a fluke, and there is no meaning or God or God-like meaning, and when you breathe your last breath, you are simply gone, nothing. That's option number one. A lot of people believe that. Option number two is there is an incomprehensible God or God-like meaning, and you are in a classroom that teaches you via carrot or stick, suffering and reward, the lesson you are naturally meant to learn. And that lesson may even continue into future lives until you finally learn it, finally in a place of peace for a long while. I say incomprehensible. Try explaining to your dog why we are going to Mars right now, for example. So, although I don't understand it, I am just a redneck from Western North Carolina. But option two feels correct to me, the great and terrible Joshua P. Warren. Sacrifice is a really fascinating topic, though, because if you start digging into it, you start really thinking about the idea of sacrifice in general. It really is sort of the basic of economics. Money, in modern day terms, you have to give up something in order to get something. You don't just get everything handed to you. You have to give some money. And how do you get that money? Well, you have to give up something to get the money. You give up time, you give up effort, you give up goods. Before I get into whether or not human sacrifice may or may not work, when I was thinking about this topic as a show, I was thinking about this little portion, going back to the animal thing, from a book I wrote. This book was published, published in 2006. It's called Pet Ghosts, Animal Encounters from Beyond the Grave. Dedicated to Lauren with love. And on page 37, I wrote this. For hundreds of years, especially in Europe and the Americas, it has been customary to kill and bury an animal, or simply bury one alive, at the site of a newly constructed church or graveyard. The spirit of the sacrificed creature is intended to guard the property against vandals and others with disrespectful intentions. And in that case, the resultant wraith was called an Ankou, A-N-K-O-U. So an important estate may require multiple animals to be sacrificed, and some of the most prominent were lambs, pigs, cows, goats, and chickens. In 1893, author T. Thistleton Dyer wrote about these phantoms in a book called Ghost World, and he specifically commented on lambs in churches, saying they often resided in the building's tower. If the lamb's vision is seen leaping about the grounds when service is not in session, it is an omen that a parishioner's child will soon die. I know we're not off on a good leg here. It's kind of depressing as well. But it is an interesting question, isn't it? What's the answer to this? What happens when you sacrifice a human? Since we're humans, you think if you sacrifice a human, that's sort of like the ultimate thing you can do. And also, by sacrifice, I'm not talking about something like going into war. Because when you go into war, your intention is not to lose people. It's the opposite, actually. You don't want to lose people. You're trying to protect your people. You're just trying to kill the other folks. But in terms of historic human sacrifice, what you really want to do is say, yes, we are going to intentionally sacrifice this human being. And I've come to a conclusion about whether or not the human sacrifice worked or works. And I will tell you all about that when we come back from our first break. And it's kind of interesting how, I was raised up in the Southern Baptist tradition of the church. And it's, the Bible kind of starts with sacrifice. Cain and Abel, the first murder, may have had something to do with the idea of how something was sacrificed. So we'll get into that, and then I'm going to tell you what I have in my left hand. And no, it's not what you probably think I have, but it's actually still very cool. You know what? If you like this show, and a lot of people email me all the time and say that they love listening to this podcast, well, it's not easy to crank one of these out on a regular basis. And if you want to keep me doing it, you want to support it, you got to go to JoshuaPWarren.com. There's no period after the P. Go to JoshuaPWarren.com. Buy something cool from the Curiosity Shop for yourself or a loved one. And be sure, most importantly, to sign up on the homepage for my free and spam-free newsletter. Just put your email address there, hit submit, takes you 2 seconds, and you'll get something cool from me immediately emailed to you. JoshuaPWarren.com. I am Joshua P. Warren, and you're listening to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network. And I'll be right back.
Has more than 460 locations nationwide. Chances are there's a location near you owned by someone in your neighborhood. We offer a wide range of diagnostic, repair, and routine maintenance services, backed by one of the best national service warranties, because everyone in our community deserves legendary care. Big O is the team you trust.
This Labor Day, say goodbye to spills, stains, and overpriced furniture with WashableSofas.com, featuring Anabay, the only machine washable sofa inside and out, where designer quality meets budget-friendly pricing. Sofas start at just $6.99, making it the perfect time to upgrade your space. Anabay's pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and interchangeable slipcovers are made with high-performance fabric built for real life. You'll love the cloud-like comfort of hypoallergenic, high-resilience foam that never needs fluffing, and a durable steel frame that stands the test of time. With modular pieces, you can rearrange anytime. It's a sofa that adapts to your life. Now through Labor Day, get up to 60% off site-wide at WashableSofas.com. Every order comes with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping, no restocking fees, every penny back. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
Good morning. Welcome to Today.
From back to school to tackling your to-do list, the Today Show is your best start to the day.
It's a new season, and every morning we're here to help you take it all on.
As the forecast calls for football all across the country, blockbuster stars, live concerts, and so much more. Wake up to where it's all happening.
We're getting back to all of it, and the best way to start is together.
Watch the Today Show weekday mornings at 7 a.m. on NBC.
As a parent, you wear many hats. At dinner, you're the chef. When your kids play, you're the ref. And let's face it, you're basically a full-time chauffeur. Fortunately, when it's time to wear your teacher hat, Abeka makes things easy. Our proven, flexible homeschool curriculum is designed to let your kids retain and build on the knowledge they acquire, setting them up for success later in life. Abeka, learning for life begins with the right homeschool education. Learn more at abekahomeschool.com.
Come on, why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultralight, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity with Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance that keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
FM Paranormal Podcast Network. I am your host, the Wizard of Weird, Joshua P. Warren, beaming into your wormhole brain from my studio in Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada, where every day is golden and every night is silver. Zume. One of my favorite movies is The Big Lebowski. I could probably play a clip for you, but I don't know. I don't want to take a chance. I think John Goodman's character is named Walter, and he says, "I got a clip here," and he goes, "Nothing changes, dude. Nothing ever changes." I think about that quote a lot, just in terms of how life evolves, because you see these cycles that repeat over and over. And when it comes to human sacrifice, let's see. Yeah, sacrifice in general as an exchange is it's something that's always been around in some form. And I don't know if you've read the Bible, but I know what I'm talking about to some degree, but I always like to go back and revisit stories and make sure I haven't misremembered things. And in the Bible starts out with, the first murder. Cain killed his brother Abel, and Cain offered. Well, God wanted a sacrifice from these two brothers, and Cain offered the fruit of the ground, while Abel offered the firstborn of his flock and their fat portions. So, in other words, it wasn't human sacrifice, but it was animal sacrifice. And God accepted Abel's offering, but rejected Cain's, which led to Cain's jealousy and ultimately the murder of Abel. So what that means is that, Cain, he was a farmer, and so he raised, fruits and vegetables. But Abel was a shepherd, and so he had lambs and whatnots, and God liked the blood better. He liked the blood better, and then. Again, that made Cain jealous, and then so Cain, who was sacrificing vegetables, killed his brother Abel, because Abel was offering up blood sacrifices, according to the Bible. And so that right off the bat was one of the first times in my life when I started thinking about the idea that God likes blood sacrifices. That sounds real nice. What a nice guy. He created us, and he wants us to kill everything, I guess. And then, of course, you move on in the Bible, and there is the binding of Isaac. Let's see here. Book of Genesis, God orders Abraham to sacrifice his son Isaac on the mountain called Jehovah Jireh in the region of Moriah, I guess it is. I am not a scholar, I told you. As Abraham begins to comply, having bound Isaac to an altar, he is stopped by an angel of the Lord. A ram appears instead and is slaughtered instead. God commends Abraham's pious obedience to offer his son as a human sacrifice. So, when you grow up in the South here in this country, you hear these stories. All right. So I just tell you that because that's part of my exposure to this sort of thing. All right, let's get into it now. Are you ready? Okay, so let me ask you this: of all of the cultures that you're aware of, what culture do you think was best known for sacrificing humans? So the idea is that, all right, we got bad weather, we need to sacrifice a human. The prettier, the better looking, the better, kind of thing. Oh, we got, poor season for crops. We got, an enemy's coming to get us. What culture do you think was number one? It turns out, apparently, according to the almighty internet here, that everybody says the Aztecs. The Aztec Empire. And I'm reading a little bit about the Aztecs right now, and the Aztecs were basically Mexican, was a Mexican culture around the Valley of Mexico, and then finally the Spanish conquistadors came in and defeated them. All right, fine. What was the second one? The second was the Inca. All right, well, let's look up the Incans here. Let's see what the deal is with the Incans, shall we? Incan Empire. See, if you want a podcast, you just have to sit here and look up stuff on the internet. The Incan Empire, known as the Realm of Four Parts, was the largest empire in pre-Columbian America. All right, so it's down there in South America. And finally, the Spanish came and conquered them. All right, what's next? Next, we have number 3 on the list, the Mayans. I know a little bit more about the Mayans because I went down and explored some Mayan pyramids around, I guess I was in Belize. And it says here, the Mayan civilization, the Mayan civilization just kind of died out. I mean, I remember that. I was at this place called Lamanai, and they were saying that nobody's exactly sure what happened to the Mayans, but they all just kind of like dwindled up. So the top 3 cultures, from what I can tell, who engaged in human sacrifice were the Aztecs, the Incans, and the Mayan, or the Maya. And they all fell. And then next on the list is the Chimu. This Peruvian culture, preceding the Inca, practiced mass child sacrifices, and they're not around anymore. And then from there, you get into, other cultures like the Carthaginians, the Shang dynasty of ancient China. But I guess my point is that, on a podcast, this is not like a dissertation. I'm just kind of giving you food for thought so you can go a little more deeply into these things if you want to. But it seems to me that these civilizations that engaged in human sacrifice all fell. And here in, I guess, Central and South America, the Spaniards, when they came over, they were just ruthless. But at least they were trying to be Christian-like. I mean, that was the idea, but it didn't work out most of the time. And so my conclusion is that no, human sacrifice does not work. And it's an interesting thing to think about. How powerful of a sacrifice are you supposed to give? But I would say that maybe what's more important is having a mindset where you are charitable and you try to believe in the golden rule, do unto others as they do unto you, because historically it seems like that seems to work out better. We're already up on another break, believe it or not. All right, so finally when we come back, I'm going to tell you what I have. Man, this thing is heavy. I think it's like 5 pounds. I got this thing in my left hand right now. Stop that. If you're thinking dirty things, it's not dirty, okay? I told you it's 5 pounds. And then I also have something interesting to tell you about the Storm Area 51 event. Do you remember when that happened? Storm Area 51? 2019, I think it was. Excuse me, there's a new program out about that. So I'll touch base on that for you as well. $581,000. That's how much a guy won using our wishing machine. Can you believe that? Go to joshuapwarren.com. Click the link to the Curiosity Shop. Check out the wishing machine, the Pepaphone. $581,000. I won a lot of money playing around with these things, but not that much. Maybe you are the next person, though. $581,000. I am Joshua P. Warren, and you are listening to Strange Things on the iHeartRadio and Coast to Coast AM Paranormal Podcast Network, and I will be back after these important messages.
Hellot Tires has more than 460 locations nationwide. Chances are there's a location near you. Owned by someone in your neighborhood, we offer a wide range of diagnostic, repair, and routine maintenance services, backed by one of the best national service warranties, because everyone in our community deserves legendary care. Big O is the team you trust.
This Labor Day, say goodbye to spills, stains, and overpriced furniture with WashableSofas.com, featuring Anabay, the only machine washable sofa inside and out, where designer quality meets budget-friendly pricing. Sofas start at just $6.99, making it the perfect time to upgrade your space. Anabay's pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and interchangeable slip covers are made with high-performance fabric built for real life. You'll love the cloud-like comfort of hypoallergenic, high-resilience foam that never needs fluffing, and a durable steel frame that stands the test of time. With modular pieces, you can rearrange anytime. It's a sofa that adapts to your life. Now through Labor Day, get up to 60% off site-wide at WashableSofas.com. Every order comes with a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping, no restocking fees, every penny back. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
This is where we get off, everybody. See y'all later.